my dear students. I hope you all are doing well. In the today's session, we are going to start with nutrition. Before that, and in our previous session, we discussed the importance of life processes. What are the different life processes and how they are helping in maintaining the life, and also why energy, the source of energy, important to us. Correct? Why we are having food, because it is acting in the fuel which is providing us the energy to perform different functions in the life. Okay, so today we are starting with nutrition. The process of acquiring food that is needed for nourishment and sustenance of the organism is called nutrition. Means that जब हम वो जो प्रोसेस है कि हम खाना खाएं और फिर उससे जो भी न्यूट्रिशन है उसको हम एक्वायर कर सके, उसको जो भी सही जगह है वहां पर पहुंचा सके in a particular organism. Or we can say nutrition is the process of intake of nutrition like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins and water by an organism, as well as हमने उसका intake तो कर लिया लेकिन अब उसका utilization भी करना है. All this comes under the topic nutrition, as utilization of these nutrients by the organism. Now, a nutrient can be defined as a substance which an organism obtains from its surrounding and uses it as a source of energy, like fuel. In a car, that energy required to move the car, to make the car in motion, we need fuel. Similarly, that nutrient is our fuel. Okay, or for the biosynthesis of its body constituents like tissues and organs. तो हमारी बॉडी में सेल्स, टिश्यूज और ऑर्गन्स को जो भी बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स होता है, जो भी टिश्यूज और ऑर्गन्स को बनाने के लिए सामान चाहिए होता है, बॉडी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स चाहिए होते हैं, वहां पे जो भी जहां भी एनर्जी चाहिए, we are taking with the help of nutrients. For example, carbohydrate and fats are nutrients which are used by an organism mainly as a source of energy, whereas proteins and mineral salts are nutrients used by the organisms for the biosynthesis of body constituents like skin and blood. So all these different proteins helps in forming our body in different ways. For building of bones, for making bones, so to make the bones strengthen, we need calcium, right? सो ऐसे ही डिफरेंट मिनरल्स और डिफरेंट प्रोटीन्स हमारी बॉडी में कुछ बनाने के लिए, कुछ सिंथेसाइज करने के लिए, कुछ स्ट्रेंथन करने के लिए काम आते हैं. Now we have modes of nutrition. So, modes of nutrition means method of procuring food or obtaining food by an organism. Means एक जो organism है वो अपनी सराउंडिंग से किस तरीके से अपना न्यूट्रिशन इनटेक ले रहा है. So there are two major modes. One is autotrophic and second one is heterotrophic. So autotrophic mode of nutrition. The word auto means self and troph means to have. Nutrition means they are gathering, they are procuring, they are obtaining their nutrition by themselves. If an organism can nourish itself by making its own food using sunlight or chemicals, such mode of nutrition is called autotrophic mode of nutrition. Means you are making your food by taking the energy from the sunlight or other chemicals. In that case, you are making your food by yourself. Okay, so that is autotrophic mode of nutrition. Plant photosynthesize you Plant photosynthesize use light energy are called photoautotrophs. Photo means sunlight. So they are making their food and taking the energy to make that food with the help of sunlight. Whereas there are some bacteria which use chemicals to derive that energy and are called chemoautotrophs. Okay, we'll understand the fact that how they're acquiring energy, why sunlight is important for making food when we'll understand the process of photosynthesis. Autotrophic nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which an organism makes or synthesizes its own food from simple organic materials like carbon dioxide, water present in the surroundings with the help of sunlight energy. This definition is given in NCERT, a simpler one, where they are saying that it is a kind of mode of nutrition where the organism, for example, plants, are making their own food by taking the raw materials. Okay, the raw material in the sense, if you make vegetable, so the raw material for you will be all the veggies, right? All the ingredients, all the salts and spices, and then you are uh, mixing them together, you are cooking it, and then you're getting the food. So raw material is that ingredients that required to make the food. Similarly, in this case, the raw material will be those simple inorganic materials like carbon dioxide and water present in the surroundings. And to mix this, right? To mix this means to make the food out of these inorganic materials, we need energy, and that energy we are taking from the sunlight. Okay, those organisms which make their own food from the inorganic substances present in the environment are called autotrophs. So, those organisms which take the nutrition with the help of autotrophic mode of nutrition is known as autotrophs. So, plants are autotrophs which perform or which take their nutrition, which make their nutrition by themselves. So, and that nutrition is autotrophic mode of nutrition. Clear? All the green plants are autotrophs because they can make their own food from inorganic substances, as I told you, like carbon dioxide and water present in the environment. So, if you see this diagram, what is happening? If we see the reaction of the photosynthesis, that is carbon dioxide plus water gives me food, that is sugar or glucose C6H12O6. Byproduct is oxygen, right? Now here we add that chlorophyll is important for the photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight. So what is happening from the environment? It is taking the raw materials, that is carbon dioxide and water, and some of the substances it is giving out to the environment also. Like for us, oxygen is very much important. Okay, so green plants are autotrophic and synthesize their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Here, photo means light, basically sunlight, and synthesis means to build. So they are making their food they are synthesizing their own food with the help of sunlight. Okay. Chlorophyll is present in green colored body called chloroplast inside the plant cell. The leaf of a plant are green because they contain these tiny green color organelles called chloroplast which contain chlorophyll. Okay. So now we have this green color pigment. Okay, the substances which provide color to the to the particular organ or to the particular place or to particular thing are known as pigments. Okay, so chlorophyll is a green color pigment which is present in cell organelle, that is chloroplast. So chloroplast is the cell organelle in which we have this green color pigment, that is chlorophyll. Okay, the process the process by which green plants make their own food like glucose from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight energy in the presence of chlorophyll is the photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis can be represented as 6CO2, 6 H2O molecules in the presence of sunlight because of chlorophyll gives us food C6H12O6, O2 and 12H2O. Now what is actually happening here? We have this chlorophyll. What is the importance of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll actually traps the energy of sunlight. So we for the combination to occur this reaction, that is making food with the help of carbon dioxide and water, we need a lot of amount of energy. This is a process which needs energy to occur. Now we are getting the energy from sunlight, but we should have a particular place where this energy is present, right? So chlorophyll pigment has the capability to trap this energy with itself and then provide the energy to occur this reaction. Okay, to continue this reaction, to process this reaction. So what is happening here is that the carbon dioxide gas required for making food is taken by the plant leaves from the air. Okay, so since maximum part of the plant is, we say maximum portion is the leaves part. So the carbon dioxide is easily provided to them with the help of atmosphere. This carbon dioxide enters the leaf through tiny pores in them called the stomata. Okay, so leaves, in the leaves we have these pores which are known as stomata. About them we'll study in detail later. Water required for the making food is taken from the soil. So we have collected our raw material, that is carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and water from the soil. This water is transported to the leaves from the soil through the roots and the stem. The sunlight provides energy. So now we have carbon dioxide, we have water, in the daytime we have sunlight. So the sunlight provides energy required to carry out the chemical reaction. Okay, in the preparation of food, the green pigment called chlorophyll present in green leaves helps in absorbing or trapping this energy from the sunlight. Oxygen gas is produced as the byproduct during the preparation of food by the photosynthesis. Now, the oxygen gas goes into the air. The food prepared by the green leaves of the plant is in the form of simple sugar called glucose. This glucose food made into the leaves is then sent to different parts of the plant. The extra glucose is changed to another food called starch. This starch is stored in the leaves of the plant. What is actually happening here is, if we divide the photosynthesis, first is absorption of sunlight energy from by chlorophyll. So in the leaves, it is green in color. That means it has the pigment chlorophyll. So it is trapping the sunlight. Okay. Then our two raw material, that is carbon dioxide and water, are provided, one from the atmosphere, air around it, and one from the roots. After that, because of this energy, this reaction carries out and we get food and oxygen, right? So you will study that oxygen, some amount of oxygen is used by the plant only for cellular respiration. Later, extra, right? The unused oxygen is again diffused out by the leaves, okay, through those stomatal pores only, right? Now, every cell needs food. So this food is transferred to every cell of the food, whereas the leftover food or the extra food is stored in the form of starch. Like fruits are there, vegetables are there. In these, the food is stored in the form of starch. Clear? So the food So, the photosynthesis takes place in the following three steps. One is absorption of sunlight energy by the chlorophyll and also trapping it. Then conversion of the light energy into chemical energy. That light energy is converted into chemical energy to perform that chemical reaction, and splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. Later, this hydrogen is again used by the plant only, but as a byproduct, we get oxygen. Reduction of carbon dioxide by hydrogen to form carbohydrate like glucose by utilizing the chemical energy obtained by the transformation of energy. So यहाँ पे what is happening? If you see here, the carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose, right? There is removal of oxygen, right? So it is reduced to sugar in the formation of sugar. Okay, so we say it is a reduction reaction of carbon dioxide. Okay, so reduction of carbon dioxide by hydrogen to form carbohydrate like glucose by utilizing the chemical energy obtained by the transformation of light energy. Okay, this is important point that these three steps means absorption, conversion and reduction. If we say these three steps need not to take place in this order, means it is not necessary that plant first will absorb the light, then convert the light energy into chemical energy and oxygen is released and then doing the reduction. No, it can take place in any order. They can take place at different times. For example, this is very important that in desert plants, they take up the carbon dioxide at night and prepare the intermediate product, which is acted upon the sunlight energy absorbed by the chlorophyll when the sun shines during the next day. Why it is happening? Because in the daytime, if we see a lot amount of there is loss of water, right? Due to the process of transpiration. Now, what is transpiration? It is the evaporation of water in the daytime in the plant. That is transpiration. In detail, we'll do this soon. Okay. So, in the desert plants, the problem is water, the amount of water is already less, right? If we allow the transpiration, the loss of water in the daytime, then the plant would die, right? And how is this loss of water is happening? Because in the leaf, if you remember, we talked about the stomatal cells. So when the exchange of gas is happening, these stomatal pores are open, and simultaneously, if my oxygen is coming out and carbon dioxide is going in, then in that case, the water is also lost, right? Okay, because it is just a pore, so it is not selectively permeable that okay, water will not go and oxygen will go. No, it is a pore, it is open, so excess amount of water will be lost, right? But for the plant, this is not a wise process. Otherwise, plant will lose huge amount of water and it will dry. So what happens in the deserted plants? In the daytime, stomatal pores are closed. Now, what is the benefit of that? If the stomatal pores are closed, then in that case, water cannot be lost with the because of the transpiration. But there is one demerit that in the daytime we have sunlight, right? In the daytime we have sunlight, and we should have the other raw material that is carbon dioxide. But since my stomatal pore is closed, so I cannot have the carbon dioxide. So what happens in deserted plants that at night stomatal pores are open. Because of that, what will happen? Whatever the amount of carbon dioxide needed by the plant, it is absorbed at the night time. Okay, it is collected at the night time. And since carbon dioxide cannot be stored in the form of carbon dioxide for the meantime till morning, it is stored in the form of some we say stable form. Okay, more stable form than Okay, so it is an intermediate form where the carbon dioxide is stored. That is actually malate or malic acid, but that is quite advanced. We won't be going to that part. But yes, in the night time, the carbon dioxide is stored. So what is happening if we see here? This is night and this is daytime. So in the night, carbon dioxide is taken up because stomatal pores are open in desert plants. Then it is converted itself into a intermediate form, that is malic acid. Later, this malic acid in the daytime converts itself into carbon dioxide, and then simultaneously, because in the daytime we have sunlight, so chlorophyll will take up the energy. We have water from the soil, right? And the food is formed. Okay. So absorption of carbon dioxide is done in night, right? Take up of energy is done in the day, the other day, and then the reaction, the photosynthesis can occur. Okay. The conditions necessary for photosynthesis to take place are sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, and water. So, carbon dioxide and water are the raw material. Chlorophyll is important for trapping the energy, and sunlight is that source of energy. If you see here, so these green organelles in the cell are, this is your vacuole, this is one cell, and in this cell we have these green organelles which are known as chloroplast, and this green color in the chloroplast is chlorophyll. Okay, so what is happening? From the roots the water is coming, right? Okay, so external structure of the leaf is composed of petiole. This is the petiole, stalk of the leaf. Then this is the lamina, right? This flat, broad part. Okay. Then this one is the midrib, right? Midline that divide the leaf into two equal halves. Then these are the veins. Okay. So this was the external structure. Coming to the internal structure. So the outermost shell, epidermis. Dermis means skin. So skin के ऊपर भी जो layer है, the outermost shell is the epidermis. It has two parts, upper epidermis and lower epidermis. So in the upper epidermis, if we see, upper epidermis is usually covered with wavy layer called cuticle. It is the waxy layer. Okay, so to prevent excess waste of water, and also with the it should not be damaged when it rains or due to some humid temperature or any other damage. Okay, so the outermost layer is covered with a waxy layer called cuticle, which prevents it from water loss through transpiration. The lower epidermis contains stomata, which helps in gaseous exchange. Now, what are stomata? Stomata are the tiny pores which are generally found in the lower epidermis. It helps in gaseous exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen from atmosphere, and also have the check on transpiration, because if the pores are open, then water can easily can be get out of the leaf. Okay. So water used in photosynthesis is taken up by the soil, from the soil by the roots in terrestrial plants. Other materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium are taken up from the soil. So these are those minerals and salts which are taken up by the soil, from the soil. Nitrogen is essential element used in synthesis of proteins. That's why the plants which grow in the protein rich soil are leguminous plant, right? The all the pulses grow in the soil which contains high amount of nitrogen, because for the formation of proteins, nitrogen play an important role. This is taken up in the form of inorganic nitrates and nitrites. So, inorganic nitrates and nitrites means in the ionic form, not in the form of, in the directly form of like N2 or N. It is taken in the form of nitrates and nitrites, NO3 2 negative and NO2. So, nitrates NO3 negative and nitrite will be NO2 negative, or it is taken up as organic compound which have been prepared by the bacteria from atmospheric nitrogen, which means, like we know, in the air we have maximum amount of gas, that is nitrogen, but plant cannot take up that atmospheric nitrogen directly, so they fulfill their need of nitrogen indirectly, maybe by nitrates or nitrites, or by the bacteria which are known as nitrogen fixing bacteria. They take up the atmospheric nitrogen, okay, they process it and makes the organic compounds in the soil, which helps in the formation or uptake of nitrogen. So now we have activity 6.1. This is important activity. So we have this variated. Hmm. We have activity 6.1 now. So this is important activity. We have this variegated leaves. Variegated leaves means जिसमें व्हाइट कलर्स या दूसरे कलर्स का कोई स्टैम्प या फिर कहीं ना कहीं एक स्पॉटेड होता है, पूरी ग्रीन कलर की लीफ नहीं होती है. सो वी नो कि ग्रीन कलर का मतलब क्या है. ग्रीन कलर का मतलब है दैट एट दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लेस chlorophyll is present, right? So the white region won't be having chlorophyll, whereas the green region will be having chlorophyll. Also, just now we studied that for the occurrence of photosynthesis, we need sunlight, we need chlorophyll, we need carbon dioxide and water. तो चारों में से कोई भी एक नहीं होगा तो photosynthesis नहीं होगा. अब हमने क्या किया, इसको बॉईल किया, बॉईल करने के बाद इसको डीकलराइज किया, मे बी बाय अल्कोहल. सो इसको अल्कोहल में बॉईल करके इसको कंप्लीटली हमने डीकलराइज कर दिया. ठीक है. अब डीकलराइज करने के बाद व्हाट वी डिड, वी एडेड द आयोडीन droplets on it. Now iodine, when comes in contact of starch, it gives the blue black color. ओके. सो जैसे ही मैंने आयोडीन की ड्रॉप्स को यहाँ पर डाला, तो जो ब्लू ब्लैक रीजन था वो वही रीजन था जो ग्रीन कलर का था, बिकॉज ग्रीन कलर रिप्रेजेंट्स द प्रेजेंस ऑफ क्लोरोफिल. दैट मीन्स जहां क्लोरोफिल होगा वहीं पर फोटोसिंथेसिस होगा, दूसरे रीजन्स पर फोटोसिंथेसिस नहीं हो रहा होगा. इन द अदर रीजन देयर वोंट बी एनी फोटोसिंथेसिस दैट वाज अकरिंग. ओके. सो the outer part of the leaf that was originally white, that is without chlorophyll, does not turn blue-black on adding iodine solution, showing that no starch or no food is present in them, in this outer part of the leaf. From this observation, we concluded that the photosynthesis makes starch does not takes place without chlorophyll. The inner part of the leaf, which was originally green, contained chlorophyll, turns blue-black on adding iodine solution, showing that starch is present in inner part of the leaf. Right? From this observation, we concluded that photosynthesis makes starch take places in the presence of chlorophyll. In other words, chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis to take place. So these are some examples for you regarding the variegated leaves. I hope you understood activity 6.1. Now coming to the other activity, that is activity 6.2. Now they are saying this is a bell jar. Bell jar में covered from the upper side and नीचे से ये ऐसे लाइक बेल की तरह ओपन होता है। हमने एक प्लांट लिया और इस प्लांट में क्या किया, इस प्लांट को कवर कर दिया। ऑल्सो साइट में, वॉच ग्लास में, पेट्री डिश में और एनी यूटेंसिल वी हैव केप्ट पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड। अब ये जो पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड है, दिस एक्ट एज ए एब्सॉर्बर ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड। तो जितनी भी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होगी इस बेल जार में वो सब कौन एब्सॉर्ब कर लेगा? KOH. Now, so in bell jar X there is no carbon dioxide. So plant which was inside the jar having no carbon dioxide around it as KOH is kept there for absorption of CO2 does not turn blue black. अब हमने क्या किया, थोड़ी देर तक ये प्रोसेस होने दिया, इसको सेटल डाउन होने दिया, फिर यहाँ से एक लीफ लिया और यहाँ से एक लीफ लिया। ओके, देन अगेन आयोडीन टेस्ट किया। आफ्टर द आयोडीन टेस्ट the leaf of this plant did not turn blue black. क्यों blue black नहीं हुआ? Because अब यहाँ पे since carbon dioxide नहीं था, तो carbon dioxide plays an important role in photosynthesis for the formation of food. That's why since the absence of carbon dioxide, the process of photosynthesis wasn't able to complete, wasn't able to process. राइट सब कुछ अवेलेबल था, धूप यहाँ पर प्रेजेंट थी, ग्रीन कलर की लीफ है, हमारे पास वाटर भी, पॉटेड प्लांट है तो सोइल में वाटर भी होगा, लेकिन सिंस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड नहीं था तो यहाँ पे स्टार्च नहीं बन पाया। ओके, फ्रॉम दिस ऑब्जर्वेशन वी कंक्लूडेड दैट फोटोसिंथेसिस, इन द फोटोसिंथेसिस टू मेक स्टार्च इन द लीफ डज नॉट टेक्स प्लेस विदाउट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. The plant which was inside the glass jar having carbon dioxide around it in this one turns blue-black on adding the iodine solution, showing that starch is present in upper half of the leaf. Okay. From this observation, we concluded that photosynthesis takes place in the presence of carbon dioxide. In other words, carbon dioxide is necessary for the photosynthesis. Clear? Now, second one is important, that is regarding the stomata. Okay. This is the last topic for today. Okay. Plant obtaining carbon dioxide from the stomata, how it is happening. There are large numbers of pores called stomata on the surface of leaf of the plant. The carbon dioxide enters the leaf of the plant through stomatal pores. Right? This is the stomatal pore. So carbon dioxide can easily enter through it into the plant. Each stomatal pore is surrounded by the pair of guard cells. So these are your guard cells. Okay. So they are dumbbell shaped guard cells. When the water flows in the guard cells, they swell up and become curved, that is turgid. Because of this the pore opens. So what happens? If you see in this diagram, every cell needs water. So from here, the water is reaching to every cell, right? So water is here reaching to every cell. Now, whatever the requirement of the plant is, that is taken by the water, and excess of water is again left in the interspaces of the air spaces or interspaces of the plant, right? Later, when these guard cells, right, when these guard cells are turgid, that means they will swell up and they open the pore. In that case, the water can easily vent out, can go out of the plant. Okay, so that is happening here, that excess of water, because of that excess of water, these guard cells will take up that excess of water and they will get swell up. Like for example, you are keeping almonds at night and in the morning they will be swelled up, right? Similarly, these guard cells will take up that water and then by the process of osmosis then they will get swell up. Because of the swelling, they will be curved, and because of the curved motion the pore will open. Okay, so when the guard cells are turgid, the stomatal pores are open. Other hand, when the excess amount of water is taken out, right? So what will happen? The guard cells will be flaccid and they will become flat. So my stomatal pore will shrink. Okay. They shrink, flaccid, become straight and close the stomatal pore. We can say that transpiration and exchange of gases in plants occur through stomatal pores. Also, the aquatic plants use carbon dioxide gas dissolved in water for carrying out photosynthesis. So, aquatic plants, like the terrestrial plants which are on the land, they take up the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, from the air. But in the water, there is not as such air present like atmosphere. So, in water, like these are the H2O molecules. There, oxygen is also present dissolved, and carbon dioxide is also present in the dissolved form. So, for the need of carbon dioxide, plant takes up that carbon dioxide that is dissolved in the water. Okay. So this was it for today's session. I hope you liked this session. In our next class, we'll be discussing heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care. So, students, I really hope you like this session. If you have any doubt, you can definitely ask me in the comment section, and I will also add the link for my Telegram group and channel where you will get all the required PDFs regarding your syllabus. And please do like, subscribe, share, and comment. Hit the bell icon for regular updates. Have a nice day. Thank you.